Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back, welcome home. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know mine has been exceptional. I woke up this morning, no stream today, as my daughter had an award ceremony at school for making honor roll. Round of applause for her. Very proud of her. In addition to that, one of the first things I see this morning was a notification from the Stalker 2 Discord. As we all know, Stalker 2 looks sensational. The game looks absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for it. Every time I see it, I just get that much more excited. I'll throw up the gameplay here on screen for you. Like, just look at the graphics, look at the quality of the visuals alone, and then the gunplay mechanics, all the additional stuff, all the attention to detail in this game. It just gets me so hyped. Like, now let me calm down. But the game does look phenomenal. One thing that we've all been wondering though is like, what's the system requirements looking like? And that's what we just found out earlier today. I don't know if some of you are going to be ready for this. So this is from the Stalker 2 Discord. I will drop a link down in the description if you guys are curious. This is their latest post. If you're hoping to get a 60 FPS experience at medium settings, so decent visuals and decent frame rate, that's going to require an i7 9700K with a Ryzen 7 3700X paired with a 2070 Super, a 4060, or a 5700 XT with a 160 gigabyte download size. That is insane, man. That's not even including the future DLC and everything that's going to come out with this game. This is no joke. Like, the industry has been going more and more toward graphical fidelity, and you could tell that this game is definitely going to require some heft, but my god, medium settings at 60 FPS is requiring a 4060. That is crazy. I mean, the 3070 Ti, I just upgraded to a 3080. The 3070 Ti is no slouch, but if you're looking for 60 FPS at 1440, that's going to require the 3070 Ti with a 4070 or a 6800 XT. Again, we're jumping up again to 32 gigabytes of RAM. 32 gigabytes has become the new 16. Like, back when DDR4 was like the primary leading platform, 16 gigabytes was considered pretty normal for the amount of RAM to have in a system. But now, as like games continue progressing, around like The Last of Us Part 1, Red Dead Redemption, what Cyberpunk, all these games are eating up more and more VRAM. And then if you're gonna do something like what I'm doing, streaming it and recording gameplay and trying to run at higher settings, higher FPS, like, this is where DLSS really comes in handy. That's one thing that I'm curious about. Does this spec list include the use of DLSS, or is this just native resolution settings? If we're talking about native 1440p resolution at 60 FPS, this spec list isn't too bad. But if this is including upscaling through DLSS, FSR, etc., this is kind of it's kind of questionable. This game is going to be no slouch. It's going to be no joke. I'm curious as to all the viewers in here. Like, is your system going to be capable of running this at decent settings? How many people that are watching this video right now are not going to be able to really run this thing, even at 1080 60? Like, I know for sure there's some people in my Discord that don't quite have the Ryzen 7 3700X or the i7 9700K, and then the graphics card. I know several of you that are on like a previous generation GPU, and then the 160 gigabyte SSD. Like, that file size alone, if you got this and the latest Call of Duty on there and you only have a 500 gigabyte SSD with Windows installed on it, like, you're gonna be in for some hurt, man. I'm curious as to how many people in here are actually gonna be able to run this game with decent settings. I know me personally, I'm running on a 1440p ultra wide monitor. 60 FPS isn't gonna be an issue. We're gonna be far exceeding 60 FPS, especially if this is not including DLSS. It's not gonna be too big of a problem for me. 4 terabytes of Gen 4 NVMe storage, Ryzen 9 5900X, RTX 3080, 48 gigabytes of 3600 megahertz RAM. Like, I'm not too concerned about it, but this PC was built to last several years, and I thought that it was going to last longer than it's actually lasting, because we're really, really steadily approaching what this thing is even capable of. Because if I was running at 4K, 4K 60, i7, or excuse me, a Ryzen 7 7700X paired with the RTX 4080. A 4080 is what's recommended to get 4K 60 on here. That is insane, man. Like, the rate that PC hardware is developing, and then the rate that these games are just exploding. with this game, from what we have heard and from what we understand, the size and the scope, it makes sense for the game to be this massive and this hardware intensive. They're talking about a huge open world, one of the biggest we've seen in a while in the industry, and everything being hand placed. They're not using procedural generation or like copy and pasting rooms. Everything is being handcrafted from the ground up. Every single room you go into is going to be unique. And mm, this is where that side of everything kind of starts to show its head. It's a beautiful thing to hear as a gamer, but when you get into the hardware components, like what's required to actually pull something like that off, that's where the bloat actually comes from. The 160 gigabytes, I'm sure it's from all those individual rooms that are not copy and pasted. I'm sure it's from, of course, the stunning details and how big the world space is. Like, I'm worried that my system is soon gonna fall behind, and I would love to hear again how many people in here are gonna be able to run this. What's your system looking like? Are you worried about Stalker 2? Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinion down below in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you made it this far, please leave a like. It helps out tremendously. I love you guys. I'm excited for this. We're only a week away, but cautiously optimistic. You guys stay active, stay healthy, stay hydrated. I'll holler at you in the next one.